to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. He speaks, and the sound of his voice is so sweet, the birds hush their singing, and the melody that he gave to me within my heart is ringing.
Just an update. The ramp and the stairs out here, we're not done yet. We still have to add handrail. And Ron has volunteered to do that. So, but yeah, handrails are coming. We just haven't put those in yet. We want that concrete to cure a little bit before we start drilling in it. There will be handrails, has to go up the ramp to meet ADA compliance, and then go up the stairs as well. So and we know there's a drop off right there, so we're going to put something there to make sure that you don't walk off that little drop off between the ramp and the patio. So that's coming. So we're not done yet. It'll be even better. When I agreed to do this, Robert said, you can pick whichever parable you want. So I picked the one that's probably one of the most challenging because there's only 3 verses in it, and they're very short. So I picked the parable of the lost coin. And I know that Jeff Spess did the parable of the prodigal son last week. Well, that's the 3rd one of this. The first one is the parable of the lost sheep. And then you have the lost coin, and then you have the prodigal son. So I chose the one in the middle. But the one in the lost sheep and the lost coin tie together very closely. And so last night, we watched a movie on TV, and it was called Lost on a Mountain in Maine, which goes along with the prodigal son. The young boy and his dad have a conflict, and the boy gets lost as they're climbing this mountain. He's lost 10 days in the wilderness in Maine. And there's a point in Maine, if you're on the Appalachian Trail, it's called the 100-mile wilderness before you get to Mount Katahdin, where there's nothing. It's 100 miles of nothing. There's no towns, there's no villages, there's no nothing in that 100 miles. Well, he was lost between that mountain and here. True story. And he was out for 10 days before he was found and returned to his family. And at one point he gave up. He completely gave up, and he had a vision of his dad saying, "Come on, come home." And so he got up and carried on. So, but that has nothing to that talks about what Jeff talked about last week. So as we move forward with these parables, these 3 in a row, the parable of the lost coin is Luke chapter 15, verses 8 through 10. But I'm going to have to read the first ones here. The first one, because it's a continuation of the first one. What man among you, if he has 100 sheep and loses one of them, does not leave the 99 in in the wilderness and go after the one which was lost. And when he has found it, he lays it on his shoulders, rejoicing. And when he gets home, he calls together his friends and neighbors, saying with them, rejoice with me, because I have found my lost sheep. I tell you, in the same way, there will be much joy in heaven over the sinner who repents than the 99 righteous people who have no need for repentance. Or what woman, if she has 10 silver coins, loses one, does not light a lamp and sweep her house and search carefully until she finds it? And when she has found it, she calls together her friends and neighbors, saying, rejoice with me, because I have found my lost coin. In the same way, I tell you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents. Those two tie together, because Jesus just gives you the continuation, but they're the same story. So let me ask you this, and I need some participation, otherwise you'll get tired of me talking. How many of you have lost something of great value? Not just lost something, but lost something of value.
Lost my keys a few times.
Lost your keys. That's a great value, isn't it? Because you can't go. I'm going to tell this. I'm going to tell them myself. I lost Bonnie's engagement ring. Lost it. Flat out lost it. Gone. Never did find it. It's gone. You think I didn't have some issues over that?
Was that before you were married?
That was after we've been married.
She couldn't take it as a sign, did
No. No. My immediate reaction was replace it. That didn't go over well. That did not go over well at all. She said, take it back. I do not want it. And it took years before I could replace that, and actually got her another one before she would accept it. Go ahead, Jeff.
Julie reminded me, in 2000, the fall of 2000, we took my dad and Amanda to Yellowstone Park, and we were at Mammoth Springs, and went back to the car, and I'd lost my wallet. And being on vacation, I had some cash, and the things you carry in your wallet, credit cards and driver's license and stuff. And I went back and I looked, and you go up these wooden steps, and so I had to look and see if maybe it'd fallen into and then we went back to where we were the place before, and I asked if it'd been turned in, and I spent hours and never heard a thing, never found it, just gone.
But there was the search, right?
There was a big search.
There was the big search because it was important to you.
Yeah.
That's like this is with the parable of the lost coin. When you lose it, you search, and 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 search. And I lose stuff all the time. I always lose stuff. I'm working on a car, working on a project that I've got, and I lose the wrench, I lose the tape measure, and I just had it in my hand. And because I know I have another one, I don't worry about it. But if you had something of great value that you lose, you search. You search and you search. And at some point you realize, I'm either going to find it or it's gone forever. Now let's get back to the parable. Jesus is talking to a certain group of people, right? And if you look at, if you go back into the first part of 15 at the beginning, now all the tax collectors and sinners were coming near to Jesus to listen to him. Both the Pharisee and the scribes began muttering and complaining, saying, "This man accepts and welcomes sinners and eats with them." The audience, before Jesus starts talking about this group or these parables, he's got an audience. The audience is, what are they? They're the Pharisees and the sinners. Okay, who are the sinners? The tax collectors and the Gentiles, right? Gentiles are sinners as well. You have the poor. They're considered sinners. You have the shepherds. They're considered sinners. It's, according to the Pharisees, anyone that's not like them is a sinner. So you have the audience that's listening to Jesus talk about this. And so Jesus gives the example to his audience. Now let me back up. Has Robert ever mentioned that what the parables are? What is a parable? Has anybody mentioned what a parable is?
An earthly story with a heavenly meaning.
Close enough. An earthly story with a heavenly meaning. Were they specific to Jesus? There's several throughout the Bible. Let's give you one in the Old Testament. Nathan talking to Daniel. Or David. Nathan talking to David. Said, "You stole the sheep and killed it," right? You killed the prize lamb. And David reacts. Well, we need to kill that guy. Well, he tells him, "David, that's you. You are that guy." So that was a parable from the Old Testament that was told. So parables have been around for a long time. They weren't specific to Jesus. Now, I was writing this out last night, and my notes went here and here and here, and then I had another thought, and I wrote it on the back, and so my notes are all just scrambled up, and I never put them in order. So, but let's go back to the parable of the coin. She had 10 coins, and she lost one. If I had 9 more, why would I care about the other one? It has value. Now, let's go back to the sheep and the shepherd. He has 100 sheep, he loses one. He goes and searches for the one. Now let's tie this back to us. We are in the fold. We are with the flock. We are with the coins. We are part of the 10. We are within God's children. We are within the realm. And now we're falling away. And we have this falling out with God. How many of you have ever quit going to church? I grew up in the church. I grew up going to church all the time. And at some point in college, I said, don't need it. Don't want it. It's not for me. And I quit going altogether. And the saddest part about that, nobody from the church came looking for me. Nobody asked me questions. Why are you not here? Nobody said, hey, come, let's talk about it. Nobody came looking for me. Now that's sad. That is what happens to our closeness, what happened to our family, what happened to us as being part of the body. So the question is on this, you lost it. And that's what this whole parable, these parables are about. Someone had a falling out with someone in the church or something in the church or something they didn't agree with and decided to leave. That's the parable of the prodigal son. It wasn't a, hey, get out. It's I'm going to leave because I don't feel needed. I don't feel wanted. I don't feel like there's anything there for me. So when we do that, what happens to our mindset? What happens to us? It must be true. And so when you do that, what are you looking for? In my case, I was looking for something else. I was looking to find something else to fill that gap. It's been 20 years going to church, 20 years of knowing the Bible, knowing the stories, knowing what I need to do. I'm a Christian at this time. 20 years of, I'm done. So, who's searching for me? Who's searching for you? If you decide you leave, who's searching for you? God is searching for us. God never moves. And as we move away from God, the further and further and the longer time, how hard is it to come back? It is really hard to come back, right? Something has to happen to us, like the prodigal son. Something has to happen to us to make us have a change of mindset, to want to come back. Not just, hey, we're going to come back. It's we have to have something that says, hey, we need to go back. And going back to the prodigal son, and Jeff probably brought it up, is he realized they've got it better than I do. The servants have it better than I do out here. When I graduated from college without going back to church. I graduated from college. And when I moved to Oklahoma, yeah, I had family here, and I saw them almost daily. But I didn't have any friends here. And I was looking for some friends, some people to hang out with, some things to do. And yeah, I had my work folks, but that's only from 8 to 5. What happens in the evening when I'm sitting there by myself? So I needed something to do. I needed some folks to hang out with. So I started hanging out with the college group at Northeastern State University. Now, mind you, I'm 25 years old, and these kids are 18, and so they're a lot younger than I am. But I started hanging out with them. And that's what brought me back to to God. Is I needed that kick in the rear to get me started, going back to church, associating with people again. So now let's go back to the coin. God didn't give up on me, as Ivana said. I gave up on God, and like the widow, she lost a coin. She said, I've got to find this. This is valuable to me. This is something that I need. And she searches. Okay. Why did she search and sweep and light a light?
Because what she lost had value, had importance to her.
She
You know-
wasn't just hoping she found it, she was gonna make sure she found it. That's the way I take it. She lit a lamp, and she didn't just say, where's my coins around here? She went, swept the whole house. She went over every inch.
It was her livelihood. She didn't have any money, so she needed it.
She needed it. More than likely, let me go back to the story now. More than likely, she was poor. That's all she had. She may or may not have had family that could support her. But when she lost it, now this goes back to most of the time when we lose something, we don't realize it at the time. A period of time has passed, and where did that go? So there's a period of time, so now we don't know where we lost it, or specifically when we lost it. So we're having to search because we can't remember anything about when it was. Now me, I'm find a tape, lose a tape measure, and I get it, and I had it in my hand, and now I can't find it. But okay, but because she didn't know when she lost it, she had to search. She had to sweep. She had to light a light. And more than likely, she says it's in the house somewhere. And she swept the house and lights the light and looks in every nick and cranny. And she's hoping that there's enough metal in it that might shine that the light will pick it up. And she'll be able to. Now I lost my phone. I was on my tractor and I lost my phone. And I kind of knew where I drove with the tractor and that. And so I waited till it was dark and took Bonnie's phone and went and called it. And I knew I didn't have the ringer on. So I went and called it. And if you get your phone in the dark, it'll light up. So it took me about 30 minutes, and I finally found it. And I saw it, called it, and it lit up. And I went, okay. It was out in the grass and weeds this tall. I found it. So now we found it. God has found us again. God has given us what we are looking for again. And if you recall, both instances, the lost sheep and the lost coin, what does she do when she finds it? She rejoices. What else does she do? She tells people that she found it. We didn't do that, did we? When we lost our stuff, we didn't, and found it again, we didn't go out and say, "Yay, I've got it," and invite people over and say, "Hey, I found it." No, we didn't do that, but she rejoiced. She had lost something of great value to her, and she was glad to have it back. Kind of like the sheep. I found my sheep. This has value to me as income, And I'm glad to have it back. So I'm calling all the people together to rejoicing. When someone comes forward down here and says, I've got an issue and I want you to accept me back, do we rejoice with them? Do we go up and we pat them on the back, we give them a hug, we encourage them? Do we pray for them? We give them that encouragement that they're looking for. You know how hard it is to come up here? It is hard to step out of that pew and come up here to say, I need your help. I need help on something. I've done it one time. And I'm the worst. I'm the worst person to ask for help for anything. I'll do it myself before I ask anybody else for help. I'll fail many times before I'll ask help from anybody. And that's the way most of us work, is that we don't want to admit that we have a fault. We don't want to admit that we have struggles. We don't want to admit that we're a sinner. Even though we're all sinners, we sin all the time, we don't want to admit it. We don't want to admit that we sin, that we have issues. And that goes back to Jesus is talking to this group of people that have issues. They have faults. They have struggles. They have things that are going on in their lives that they don't want to admit to anybody. Now God knows all of our struggles. God knows everything that's going on with us. And we fail to realize that at most times. And when we come down here, do we welcome the encouragement that is given? Yeah, we should. Now imagine God wrapping his arms around you and giving you encouragement. Imagine that God hasn't given up on you. It's kind of like the prodigal son. I'm going back to the prodigal son. What happens when the dad sees the boy coming? He runs to him. He doesn't wait for him. He runs to him. And what does he do? He wraps his arms around him, gives him that encouragement, says, hey, you're welcome back. We're glad to have you. We're glad you're here. Let me go back over here. I'm looking at time. I've got a lot of time here left. Just wait. You get to see me again on the 31st. So I'm warning you now. If the crowd is less, I'll understand. Well, thanks, Ron. I'm glad you admitted that you're not going to be here, and I can count on you, that you'll be praying for me on the 31st. Psalms 90, verse 1. Lord, you have been our dwelling place in all generations. Before the mountains were born, or before you had given birth to the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting, you are God. God has always been there. God has been the dwelling place for his people, his chosen people, which we are part of. Now and he is always going to be there. He is always going to be there to comfort us, to welcome us, to bring us what we need in life. And going back to what is Jesus' mission when he came? What did Jesus come to do? To save the lost. But before that, what is that? He's seek and save the lost. That was Jesus' mission here. It was to seek and save that which was lost, which is us. Do we feel those loving arms of God around us? Do we feel the loving arms of the body here around us? That we could go to people here with our struggles, with our problems, with our issues, and seek and have encouragement. Yeah, Ron.
One of the first things that happens is a lot of people lose, they think they've lost value to those around them. Sometimes that causes them to become recluse.
Mhm.
In encouragement, we need to say to them that they are valuable, they are important.
Without the relationships that we have here, where do we seek those relationships? They're someplace else, right? If we don't find acceptance here, we're seeking acceptance somewhere else.
Kevin, I worked with the juvenile system for 28 years, and I was at Helena as the maintenance superintendent, and there was a young man that was working. We worked with some young men in our department, and I found out he was a member of the church. And I asked him, I said, how did you end up here? And he said, well, he said that I came to a point that I didn't think anybody cared. And that's what he did, is he got along proud. And he just didn't feel like that anyone cared about him. That's really sad.
Yeah, it is. You can always find acceptance from a group out in the world. You can always find that accept. They're willing to take you in. They are always willing to take you in. Now, do they have that compassion? Do they have that love that you get from being with God? No, but they'll make you feel welcome. They will welcome you in. Where'd it go? At the end of these parables, or at least the first two, let me get back to where I started. At the end of the first two parables, it says, I tell you the same, there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents over the 99 righteous people who have no need of repentance. There will be joy in heaven when you come back.
Amen.
You've fallen away. There's that joy joy in heaven. Now let's read the one back with the coin. In the same way, I tell you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents. It's not only God that's rejoicing. The angels are rejoicing. The angels are glad that you came back. The angels are counting you worthy and rejoice. I wrote it down, now I can't find it. That's failure to organize my notes. The angels gave us, when we talk about the angels are who? The angels were messengers. The angels were warriors. And the angels were ministers. But they are all rejoicing when one of the flock is returned. When one individual returns to the fold, which means they were out, they were with the fold, now they're coming back. They have been returned and welcomed. Isn't that a great thought? That not only God is rejoicing, but the angels in heaven are rejoicing with you? That should give us comfort. That should give us great joy that not only people here are rejoicing, but angels in heaven are rejoicing with us and glad that we returned. Now my mind works a little screwy at times, but I think that's the engineer in me that does that. And I'll tell you, I picked my next class. It's about like this one. It's a topic. The parable of the pearl of great value. And it is another one of those, it's about 3 verses, maybe less. But I have a different twist on that. And before I go to that, in this story of the coin, who are we? With a coin. Which means what?
We're the 8 or the 9.
Okay. Are you the 8 or 9, or are you the one that's gone?
Right.
The other deal is, we have great value. We are of great value because we were part of that group. We were part of the 10. We're part of the 100. And we have great value to God. And we should always remember that we're not just a number, but we have value. Yeah.
You know, with the comparison of the sheep and the coin, we have, our value is not, are we valued as one of many or one of few? Our value is the same.
Our value is the same. But we have value to God. We are value. I go on a job site, and I maybe hit 3 job sites in a day. And they'll go, well, which one of these jobs is most important? The most important job is the one that I'm on right now. I could care less about those other ones until I'm there. And then that's the most valuable job that I have. And they said, well, you were over there this morning. Yeah, may have take precedent over. No, that one was valuable this morning. This one is the most valuable now. God is saying we're all valuable every time, every day, all the time.
Jeff, a lot of our
always thinking of self. We're thinking of the self rather than the value that we give to other people and the joy we give to other people. Well, the pearl of great value is about like this, but it is, okay, are we the pearl or are we the finder of the pearl? And I'm going to throw a twist on it because I like Steinbach. So that's all I've got for this morning. Hopefully I didn't ramble on and hopefully didn't say 14 different things of saying the same thing.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. What a song of delight in the city so bright will be wafted 'neath heaven's fair dome. How the ransom will raise happy songs in his praise when all of God's singers get home. When all of